Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I haven't really done any video, I haven't made a singular video for the past, I don't know how many months, 2 months, 3 months? So, I'm back today. Oh right, I forgot my mouse was bugging out. 1 second. This might fix it. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, we haven't had any Rocket Obby breakthroughs, you could say. There have been some movement things, like, for example, there's the fling, which is basically a different form of momentum gain. And it's slightly faster, but that's about it. So all there really is now is practicing tunnel slide and normal runs until the current pre-shot list world record can be broken, which is, I think, 5.367. That did happen before the 6-7 meme came out, so not fake. So that's what I've been working on. I've gotten about 7 5.5 runs, but still no 5.4s. Of course, I have not been using tunnel slide. If you don't know what that is, you should watch my video called Slide Me a 5.6. In that video, I used the tunnel slide to get a 5.6 run. And I just thought it would be a fun play on words for the title. My mouse is breaking again. What is wrong with this thing? I've been having to unplug and replug it back in every, few minutes. I'm gonna need to clean out the sensor soon, I think. Well, yeah, I've been practicing the tunnel slide a lot. You might know how it works. I'll just do it from /go to 11. What you need to do is strafe into the tunnel and then tap a jump right as you land so that you keep your momentum. It's a bit tricky. Well, very tricky. And something you can do is turn around and hold A instead of holding S and D. That's what most people do, but I find it a bit more difficult. Of course, I find both methods very difficult. I never have been too good at tunnel slide, but it can save up to about 1/4 of a second, which is definitely important in getting world records. So I'm gonna need to practice it a lot. Turning around seems like it would be a lot easier, but in an actual run, it's just kind of hard to pull off. You just always mess up. I actually haven't even practiced tunnel slide for the past 2 weeks, so I'm just completely terrible at it. Oh, that was close. Nope. Nope. My mouse is bugging out again. This is not too great. But yeah, if you want to practice your tunnel slide, yeah, just do that type of thing. You do /go to 11, shoot backwards, and then try turning around and holding A, and then moving your mouse to land in the tunnel. Ah, that was close. I keep jumping and not moving my mouse enough. No. Yeah, so you want to aim at the center of the bridge when you do it. Like that. See how close that was? That time I aimed a bit too far to the left. What you really want to do is actually aim too far to the right and then like turn midair to go to the left so that you get some sideways momentum for the tunnel. But it's really difficult to do that. I bet that there are some people, specifically you, Pandemonic Game Dev and Visualizer, you could probably pull this off a lot better than me. Because considering both of them use a different normal tunnel method, where they basically just do that except with a crouch in it, and then they shoot here, or here, depending on who it is. Most people they turn around, shoot here, and then do the end as usual. But I do not do it that way. So it's like a decently large amount harder for me to do tunnel slides, just because I use a different method of normal tunnel. Because I do that normally. I shoot off the ground, so I don't actually need to land in the tunnel normally. But for all these other people, they try landing in the tunnel, except without the jump for momentum carry. Kind of similar to the Daring Dare strategy. He is I don't know if he had a world record. He had one world record that was actually lagged when he looked back on the footage, but I'm not sure if he had another one. The former top 3 player used to do a similar technique to that, except without turning around. He would do it like, oops, not like that, where he would land inside the tunnel, not here, and he would shoot here, and then do the end usually, of course. The end is just like a fixed point, and also the start. Both of them don't have much improvement. But the tunnel has a lot of different methods. Like, sure, the start used to have pre-shooting, but now that that's gone, it's kind of dull. And it's one of the simplest parts. And the end has just always been, like, set to the same method. Actually, no. There were a few people who changed it so that it was just one shot on the wall, because originally it was like this, with 2 shots, which is just a lot less efficient. Sort of like that. Because that's just way faster. Because you aren't gaining much momentum if you do 2 shots. That's terrible. Okay, well anyways, I'm gonna do a few runs with an attempted slide. I actually have only hit slide once or twice today, so I just did /go to 11. I've only done slide twice today, so I'm not sure how well it's gonna go. But you have got to hope for the best. I lost my momentum. Nope, that was not a slide. Rare moment of Jeep Diesel getting higher than 6 seconds. Crazy. That's just what happens when you fail a slide. You don't get sub 6. Unless you have like a perfect start and a 1.8 end. Also, 1.8 end is kind of like what you're supposed to have to be able to get sub 6 runs. What? I just got the same time twice. That's crazy. Yeah, so if you like really practice everything a lot, you can get consistent 2.1 start, 1.7 tunnel, and 1.8 end, which is fast enough to get 5.6s every time. I normally need to work on the tunnel and start. My end is almost always 1.8 or faster though. My start is kind of terrible though. Like you see, I'm losing a bit of time right before I do my whole bounce. Because now they have the reload bar. Yay! That was close. Okay, I'll try a turn. Nope. I did slash go to 11. Nope. My old slide technique was kind of weird, but I'm gonna try it out because I don't know, it seemed effective. Let's see. So I would hold S at the start of the slide, and then I would turn rapidly and hold D. Like you saw there, I just shifted my momentum really quickly. That time I just held D the whole time. It's kind of difficult to switch to holding D at the right point, but if you're able to do it, you just get way more momentum. That's kind of the point of just turning around and holding A and no W, because it's just way easier to switch your momentum to a different angle, but I just find turning around more difficult, so I do it with D and S. Also, it is actually worth holding S, but only in tunnel slide runs, because otherwise, well, you aren't going to reach your shot cooldown normally. See? I had to wait a bit before shooting my tunnel shot. That was not a slide. That was just I walked into the tunnel and didn't lose much momentum, but I didn't gain any either. Like, my sideways momentum was still practically 0. It didn't stop me, but... well, it just didn't let me keep any of my backwards momentum for going sideways there. That was a good end. That was like 1.7, 1.8. I'll look back on the footage. The Rocket Obby community is surprisingly, like, still up and running. There are, like, 95 active players on Rocket Obby on average, which is really nice, because at some point a few months ago it was just like 40. Even just like last week it was like 50. But I guess the population has regrown. Maybe that's just a weekend thing. That was like a quarter slide. No. Okay, that was like a half slide, I guess. Still completely terrible, though. No. Yeah, what I don't get is how people do such good slides so consistently. That was so close. I just barely missed that slide. That would have been a really fast one too. I could tell by the angle I was moving. Also, I learned that some people actually do it from the other side just so that they have a better angle for slide. That's kind of crazy that people would just switch their wall side just for that. Yeah, I just haven't been too good at slide ever, so I'm not sure if I'm ever going to be able to get world record using the slide. Oh, that was terrible, that ending. Nope. Mid-start. Also, I've been testing some stuff out on the start. If I tap S, but for a very short amount of time, at the back wall bounce, then I actually seem to get more momentum than for a longer time. I don't know why, but it just does that. See, I just got a 5.5. There's a chance that I could try getting a 5.4 this recording session. Not sure if that's gonna happen though. Because the best run I've gotten was I think like a 5.52 over the past few days. So if I'm able to beat that by an entire 0.3, that's going to be impressive. Ah, come on, that was terrible. I did the thing where I hit my head again. I kind of want to put into perspective how important it is getting a 1.8 second end time. I was asked by Pandemonic Game Dev a few days ago to tell him why his runs were only like, I think it was 6.3, and that was just because his ends were looking like this. Well, not like that, but like sort of like that, yeah, where he would like launch himself extra high up and also to the side. Like that. Yeah, that's exactly what the ends look like. So I just told him, improve your end to 1.8 seconds, and then you should be good to go with some easy 5.6s and 5.7s. Because for those who didn't know, he is one of the, or probably the best at the tunnel, and decently good at start. But for end, I'm not sure if there's anybody who has a better end than mine. I guess, I don't know. Probably not, to be honest. There are a few people who are like slightly newer. Oh, right, yeah, I was gonna talk about this guy who joined, or who started playing again a few days ago, called Worried Knight, and then a bunch of random numbers. They might be online now. Oh, here is Pandemonic Game Dev, Mango Sorbet. He's somewhere on my friend list. Not sure where though. Now, oh yeah, here. Worried Knight 35004. So yeah, that guy is very new to the community. Just a few days, and he's already got a 6.2 second time. His end is kind of mid though, so If you see this video and work on your end, Worried Knight 350004, then you should be good to go. Oh, my start is terrible. That was a bit better, except then I messed up my whole bounce. Nope. Does the 0.5 shot still exist? I have no idea. I'm gonna try it and rewind the footage after. It's basically a technique that nobody really knows why it works, but you can sometimes just shoot 2 rockets before the cooldown is over. Like if I go boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it doesn't work, seemingly, but you used to be able to get 1 rocket in 0.5 seconds, and it used to be possible to do that twice, like at the start of a run, but I'm not sure how it happened. There are probably some people who could say why. But like there, it looked like I shot about 0.1 seconds early, which would still be 0.7, but... Okay, I should actually probably finish a run. And it was really useful in the ending, because you would almost always get enough momentum, even if you did the 0.5 shot. That's how people would consistently get 5.5 and 5.6 second times. And by people, I normally would just mean me. And sometimes a few other people, like Visualizer and Pandemonic Game Dev. Pand would actually, like, practice the 0.5 shot, I think. That's what he told me. Which is kind of crazy, just practicing something that is probably a bug. Oh, that was a good time. 5.553. If only I were 0.002 seconds slower. I have gotten the 4 5s before. There was one point in time when I told myself that once I got a sub 6 second run, I would quit the game. Then after that, I said world record. Then after that, I said 5.656. Then after that, I said once the sub 5 barrier is broken by anyone. And now that pre-shooting is gone, that's probably going to be never. But I'm just hoping that it's possible. Because until then, a bunch of new techniques are going to be born. And a long time will pass. The nice thing is that it's still a very beginner-friendly game mode, because people try improving their own PBs instead of the world record. Because world record held by me, 5.124, is currently unbeatable, but for pre-shot lists, it's still very improvable at 5.367, held by Pandemonic Game Dev. I don't think I said that yet. Gotta give credit where credit is due. Oh, come on. I kind of got a bit of a mouse glitch there. Oh yeah, also for world record runs, or even like 5.5 runs, the ceiling top is practically required. Oh nice, that was a good time. Well yeah, the ceiling tap is where you try getting at about that angle at the start, and then you hit your head on the ceiling after your last rocket shot. It also works after your second shot, but it's just a bit slower that way, because it messes up your angle. If you do that, you need to aim a bit lower. Sort of like that, except a lot better. Yeah, like that. That's a good ceiling tap. Well, as I was saying, it's basically required for 5.5 second runs. And maybe even 5.6s. Like, I think I've pulled off 1 or 2 5.6 second runs without it, but it's just really difficult. I think that's, yeah, 3 5.5s today. That's kind of crazy. And just like a 30-minute session, something like that. Well, this is kind of how I practice. I start off with some full runs, like 1 or 2, and then I do just the end, and then I do just the middle. And then I do a bunch more full runs and try getting world record. But there's this thing called backwards practicing. Most people probably know about this, but you start from the back, like go to 14 in this case, the end, because then it's a lot easier to not mess up in actual good runs. And if you don't mess up at the end in good runs, then you're going to be really consistent at getting good times. What I still need to work on is tunnel. I think most people need to do end or tunnel. A lot of people have trouble with both of them. But you just really need to actually practice the end and the middle separately, because otherwise you just will not improve at the same rate. Because imagine you finish the start every 3 runs, and then you finish the middle every 3 runs, and the end every 3 runs. That would mean that you would only get to the end every 9 runs, which wouldn't be good, because then you would not be able to practice it as often. And then you only actually finish the run every 27 runs, which is just not good. Well, yeah, if you're only able to finish a run every 27 runs, or attempts, I guess, then you just are never going to get any good times, because your fastest runs, you're probably going to panic and mess up, which is what I've done multiple times for pre-shot runs, but pre-shotless, not really. But with pre-shot, there was one time when I failed a sub 5 second run. And that was probably the closest anybody's ever gotten to sub 5. It was on a 4.98 pace. But I just completely threw the ending. Like, this is what happened. Oops, not that. This is what happened, where I was like 2 blocks below the correct Y level. And that just got rid of the best run probably ever. Because that run, it had a 1.5 start, perfect middle, like 1.6 middle, And then I threw a 1.7 end. I think it was 1.7. Maybe it was a 1. I threw a 1.8 end. It was very sad. Because that was on pace for a 4.9 to 4.8. At the end of the tunnel, I mean. Like at the start of the end, you could say. At the start of the end, it was possible to get a 4.7 on that pace. Which was what I thought was the theoretical limit a few years, or not years, months ago. Like when I had started playing. Because after 3 weeks, I started theorizing about pre-shooting. And then finally, like 7 months after that, people actually started doing it. It was kind of crazy. But with a different method, not the one that I was expecting people to do. Because I thought people would shoot up there and then have it explode like you saw that. It was a bit off, but that is a way to pre-shoot that I think should still work, technically. But it's just a lot harder. And a lot more luck-based than something like /go-to-3, shooting here, and then doing that. But see, it just cancels out all my momentum when I do that now. It's really sad. And they actually fixed the bug with it, but they didn't even, like, there was a bug that happened when they patched pre-shooting that made it so that when you would respawn, it would sometimes teleport you to, like, back where you died. Either back where you died or to here instead of the R point. Which was extremely annoying, but they patched that and somehow pre-shooting did not stay. Like, it didn't get unpatched from that. Because I thought that it was the same reason. Something to do with too much momentum lagging you back, but I guess not. They must have purposefully patched pre-shooting separately. I don't know, though. Well, I guess I'm gonna do one last sub 6 second run, and then that's gonna be the end of the video. It's kind of tradition at this point. Originally, I would do one sub 7 before I left the game, then it switched to a sub 6, then it switched to a 5.6, but 5.6 is a bit much. One time it took me about an hour and a half to leave. And one time I said I wouldn't leave until I got world record. And that took me about 3 hours. It was kind of crazy. Wonder what that is. Okay. Okay, let's see what he sent. Wait, what? What? guess that would be the second fastest time. .6. I think I'll stay for a bit more, but okay, so I guess we aren't sure if it's lagged or not. That's sad. Okay, I'm gonna rewatch this guy's video that he sent to me earlier. Let's see this. Okay. Okay. Let's see it. Timer starts at the right time, no lag there. This is all fine. Wait a second. I'm gonna go back. 3. Okay, so that was a 3.95 tunnel exit. Yeah, so that was a 2.3 end. Oops, my game just crashed. That's fun. I'm just gonna guess that that run was probably more like a 5.5 or a 5.6, because I do not think that a 5.3 is happening with a 3.9 tunnel exit. That would be like completely insane. You would need to do a momentum carry tunnel with a perfect ending, and also a B-hop at the end of tunnel, which is practically impossible. I feel like B-hop doesn't make that much of a difference, to be honest. Oh, maybe? Oh no. 5.6. Also, at this moment, I'm pretty sure for pre-shotless runs, I have about, I would say, 800 of the top 1,000. Maybe not. I don't know if I have 800 5.6 runs. That's a question. I would say 200 of the top 250 then, because that's almost definitely true. Even though I don't currently have pre-shotless world record. I still have almost every single top 250 run. I can actually show that. Oh, maybe. Yeah, it's like that. It actually lets you gain more momentum, I think, but... no, I think it's the same. Well, that's what my old method was. Where instead of tapping W every time I shoot, I would just hold A and then move my mouse like such. And it's just a lot harder to do and about the same speed, so it doesn't really matter which one you use. Because of shot cooldown. I'm pretty sure it is possible to get to /go to 10, like with a normal start. Or with a normal one rocket start. I mean, like, let's see here. That was close. Nah, I'm like 2 blocks away, but I'm pretty sure it was possible. Oh yeah, I did it. With a one rocket start. It's kind of difficult, but... Okay, what was that? I'm gonna try my old end method quickly. It's just way slower, I think. I could try it in an actual run. I'll just do a slow run so that I don't fail it. Oh, I just did not do it. It seems kind of pointless, to be honest. Okay, I've been recording for way too long. I should probably end the video off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and have a good one.